everybody. My name is Altice. I'm 55, and I'm just grateful to be alive. Basically, I'm here to talk about, my using piece. How, and just all I can say is, I was born. I was born a young boy in 1969. I was born innocent to a good family, very religious family. I don't know if anybody can understand having a grandmother that said, "Don't get off the porch" and all of that. But so happened, I went off the porch and wound up, this world that I did not know that I was going to, be a part of, and that was, being introduced to getting high, and being a molested little boy and all that kind of stuff, and thinking I was different because of the lifestyle. A lot of stuff took toll on my life, as far as like, just not liking myself. You know what I'm saying? Being bullied and all that kind of stuff. So what we do, we escape. And I started using, and it started off with the little marijuana or whatever, and then I did not know that one day it was going to turn into a more harder drug. So, I'm not sad about my story. You know what I'm saying? But I'm grateful for it, and I'll get to that later. But I remember, you know, coming to the high school and being introduced to drugs, and it was, working on the weekend at Livingston Mall, and it was fun, and I went to the club on the weekend, but I did not know that it was going to turn into an everyday thing, and it was going to, dereliction and all of that stuff was going to be added to the story. But like I said, I'm always willing and grateful to talk about, me, so, being in the lifestyle also, that put a lot of things on me, such as being different, and thought I had to have girlfriends, and I did have girlfriends. I had bad girlfriends. I went through a lot of stuff in my life, but it was just something about having drugs to be able to cope with a lot of different areas of my life. It's like being with the cool boys. You know what I'm saying? I had to use. I started using drugs. Have to have a girlfriend. I used drugs. When I came out the closet, I really used drugs. But like I said, I can never, ever, ever, ever not, you know, not be grateful for who I am today. And one thing that caught on to me is when I got diagnosed, in '93. That's when I really started using drugs, and I started using heavy drugs. I started, intravenous drug use, and that one wore me out. It was no longer, I could put it up, and I can go to work the next day and all that kind of stuff. When I started doing that intravenous drug use, it was using drugs every day on the hour, and what it did was it bust my ass. So, I don't know. A lot of times we go through stuff, you know what I'm saying? But thank God that I have the ability to acknowledge, what I've been through to get to where I'm at today. It's a lot that I can talk about. I had a stroke. I'm gonna talk about that too, and that's another reason why I try not to, use drugs now, because a lot of things happen to me just being affiliated with drug use, and I'll never forget the connection of being diagnosed with the virus. That's when I really started to use heavy. It was drug use will have you doing things, or not being risky and stuff like that. And I was contacted with the virus, and that one there, took me to a place where I didn't want to live no more. That's why I constantly started to use the drugs heavily. I ain't want nobody to know what was going on with me. You know what I'm saying? He got that shit. So in being in this world, people are mean, But like I said, and I'm always go to that and say, I'm always going to be grateful for where I'm at today, and we're gonna get to that later, you know. So, that's the beginning of me using it, and drugs was like I used it all, so there was no particular drug that I wouldn't use. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that I know that alcohol, I thought I could, you know, freak with that one too, but I know I can't do that either. So, like, like later on in this, you know, segment, I'll talk about that. So I don't know. You were introduced to a person that I don't know exists. You know what I'm saying? But I'm in existence, and I live through the addiction part of my life. Spite of whatever I go through, I know that I didn't tend to be an addict, but so happen there is a such thing as being an addict. So with that, um, I'm grateful. But like I said, we're gonna talk about it later about when I started doing something about it. So with that, I'm grateful. I'm gonna always say grateful.
Thanks.
Oh, so I'm back. So let's talk about now. I'm talking about me being addicted to drugs, but I'm talking about getting to a place where I wanted to get off the, and I constantly, because of the denial piece, I use for a lot of things. But it was just something about when I really got enough was enough. I'll never forget. I went to a program, and I was going to a lot of programs because at this particular time I was going to detox after detox after detox. But it was just something. In in 2000 in 2000, I felt like enough is enough is enough. So, you know, I started to, you know, get willing that I need to go to a program. And what I did was I went. But let me tell you, is when I really decided to change my life is when it's this thing they call H&I, hospitals and institutions, right? And I remember everybody that came to do a presentation was HIV positive. And what it did was, I don't know if that was God sending these people to me, but it was at that particular time in my life when I really didn't want to be here because of that issue, but I got some hope. And I'll never forget, and a lot of them not here no longer, but it was just one lady, her name was Yvette C., and she gave me the hope. She said, well, come on, because I've been such and such and such, this took this longer time, and guess what, I'm staying clean. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of people. And then we got this meeting that we go to. It's called Double Trouble. And I was like, okay. And then that's when I was introduced to, you know, doing the best I can, even though, I still had things that I had to work on, but I knew that it was a hope. It was some hope there. So I started to embrace on the hope. And I'll never forget this. Now, when I first got to, now I'm out the program, and now they got this thing they call meetings. You know what I'm saying? Okay, here we go. And I remember going to my first meeting, and that was on Raymond Boulevard, um, downtown Newark. And I just went in there. We be, how we feel about ourselves, and defensiveness is always going to be the key. And then it takes you to, the little boy that was molested by his uncle, and I got to be tough, and I got to protect myself. And but it was just something about, I was looking for either a gay person or a woman, because at this particular time I did not know that God was going to send somebody in my life that was totally opposite what I was looking for, and that was God's gift to me. You know what I'm saying? It was this gentleman named Julio. And and I'm gonna talk about, to keep coming. Like, oh no, these people really staying clean. Because I was looking for people that was, not doing it. But I just started getting in where I fit in, and I just kept coming. And it's this thing they call keep coming, and I started to come, and I just, no matter what, like I started feeling good about myself. I started like not look neglecting things that I normally would when I'm using, and I just kept going. I just kept going. I started making meetings. I started, get this thing they call a home group. I got a home group. You know what I'm saying? They got these commitments, and and I'm like, okay, maybe this will work. And I started doing the coffee commitments and all of that, and it was a feeling that was different to me, because I no longer, like, these people are accepting me for who I was, man. And it was giving me the acceptance piece where I didn't have to buy friends no more or none of that. So, and then the vigilance of just keep coming and just keep coming. There's a lot too that's gonna come down the line, because just because you surrender, that don't mean that you're gonna, you know, do everything that you need to do, because it's a lot that you got to do to remain here, and that's uh, the behaviors. I wouldn't really get into that more, but I'll talk about it a little bit. When you come here and try to do the right thing for the right reasons and practice principles and all that kind of stuff, it don't always work like that, because the compulsion obsession to fix feelings and all of that. And one thing that I'm grateful for, when I got here, we started doing work. I was like, oh God, I gotta do homework. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them people that never liked the school or none of that stuff, but it gave me an opportunity to put it on paper and take a look at some of the patterns that I had, and I'm just grateful for all of it. And I'm just grateful that this was a place that this was home now. You know what I'm saying? I was all right with myself. I started doing the work on myself. I started accepting the fact that I can't take away some of the things that I caused so much harm to my family, just stealing and just havoc, causing havoc. You know what I'm saying? But one thing that I was grateful that I had people that I could identify with, that they did the same thing too. So it gave me some hope that I ain't the only one. So I continue to, keep doing what I needed to do, and I needed to do. But it was just something about when you doing the work on yourself, you know, sometimes it comes a day when you don't want to surrender, or you don't want to abide to the principles, and what happens is you will fall victim to things that, uh, I ain't gonna say, well, I don't know, the worldly things, you know what I'm saying, like tricking and all that kind of stuff, and still want to shoplift and all that. But what happened was I continued to keep practicing those behaviors, and I was doing the writing. But guess what? One day I wound up using again. Mm. One time I started using again. But I'm gonna talk about the reason why I'm saying this is because now I've been introduced to something that I know that's good, and it's been giving me some hope. And now I done messed up, but one thing that I was grateful for, they gave me an opportunity to just keep coming back. You know what I'm saying? And then they talks about the higher power. You know what I'm saying? Then you have friends and they be like, they ain't talking about you. They talk about you. They fucking talk about you. You know what I'm saying? But it was just something about being introduced to this program, right? It gave me an opportunity to just keep going anyway. Even though I messed up and I was struggling now I messed up my regiment. You know what I'm saying? But it's just something about the hope. Until one day, I was able to wake up out the nod once again But I'm just grateful that it was people that really believed in me and said, "Okay, Altice, you did what you did. What you gonna do about it?" You know, it was somebody. Um, his name was Jeff. God, he's no longer with us. He was like, "Wipe your nose and sit the fuck down." You know what I'm saying? He ain't say get out and don't come back here. I was like, okay. So I just kept coming until one day I was back, and only through having a higher power. It talks about a power greater than yourself, and I don't like the religion thing because I was raised in a certain religion, and I ain't going to God's kingdom. But it was just something about the higher power for me was these things they call key tags. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Oh, 6 months. I'm checking around. I ain't got paraphernalia on me or none of that stuff. 9 months. I'll teach you can do it. 1 year. Yay! What? God damn it! What? You back on 1 year? All these balloons and people celebrating you, and and then now 18 months, and now we get to the multiples, and now I'm back on multiples. What you gonna do now? So now that what it did for me is it gave me the vigilance to just remain here, keep going forward, no matter what you go through. I done been through some stuff in here. I done had strokes. And being in the process that I'm in. And I'm gonna talk about love, and love is what's keep me doing what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? Spite of, you know what I'm saying? Spite of when we go through stuff, the identification of knowing that I ain't the only one. And it was other people experience that went through stuff like strokes and losing loved ones and best friends and not being angry at God and understanding that we all gotta go. So I don't know. I'm just giving you a little something on why I stay where I in the process that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? Because it's nothing like it. It ain't always good, and then sometimes you'll be thinking I ain't good enough and all that. Because there's a lot of stuff that we go through to this day that still try to tell you that you ain't shit, you ain't gonna be shit, or you don't look at the miracles that's going in your life. You always measuring yours to somebody else's, and that's not good. And that's what I try to practice today. Not doing is like knowing that God's will for me is mine, and like that's yours, and your will is that's what you got. You know what I'm saying? I got my own, and I had to be grateful for that, because sometimes you'll get caught up in the illusion that you ain't doing what you need to do, or you are not worthy, and then you'll always get people that tell you something or tell you a story that implements you with them, as far as giving your experience or helping hand. So which builds me up a lot of days. So I just continue to be a soldier, man. And I learn from my mistakes, and guess what? I ain't perfect, and and that's one thing that I love about being in the process that I'm in, that I got people that say me too. It's something about me too that get me up, because there's a lot of times people act like they don't do nothing, and you be thinking you the only one, and then you be like, I don't need to be around them because they perfect and I'm not. But then I'll find out through honesty and give a chance to talk about what's going on with me. I'll get somebody to be like, guess what? Me too. So I don't know. I guess that's a little something that why I stay, or I continue to do what I need to do for me. And I thank God first. God first. This ain't religious, it's spiritual in nature, But I do have a God, because if he can carry me through all of that, from the little boy and all of that, the molestation and the drug addiction and the HIV and the strokes and all of that, I already know that I have a God of my understanding that loves me just like I'm learning to love myself today, So that's it.
2, 1.
Oh, so what's going on now? I done told you when I started the drug use. I done talked about the part when I got introduced to something special. Now we're going to talk about what I'm doing today and why I stay vigilant in what I do today and some of the things that I do today. Because one thing about being in the process and being introduced to, a program, I'm not going to say the name, but that it is a step that says it's the 12th step, and it talks about giving it back. You know what I'm saying? And when they say give it back, it's not giving nothing out materialistically, but what I do, such as being in the community. I've been working, and then it's funny that even in that journey of getting clean, I was introduced to a job in 2000, right? That's so far I still got it, even though they canceled me a couple of times. But I'm talking about the community work that I do, and I'm just grateful for where I work, because it helped me through my illness. You know what I'm saying? And it walked me through a lot of stuff, and just to know that I can be a part of the community and help people, you know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to the addiction. One thing that I'm grateful for and that I got an understanding is that the only thing you can do is show up for somebody. You can't command nobody or demand nobody, but you can only tell them what your experience was and how you got through it, you know what I'm saying? And you do not shoot the wounded, you know what I'm saying? And what I do is I just show up. I've been doing that lately. I've been showing up for people, just letting them know that it's all right. They got these drugs out here now that I've been experiencing a lot of overdoses. I just went to a funeral the other day, a good friend of mine's, and I'm talking about she was I got in a program. She was clean. She moved to New York. It was just something about the disease is so kind of baffling that it told her that she needed to come to a reunion, right, to help me get a cake. But I wish she wouldn't have came over here, because she got stuck in that vicious cycle. And what happened was it took her all the way back to the dereliction part of it, which it took her to panhandling, and she was on the side of the street, and a car came and killed her. You know what I'm saying? I just went to her funeral the other day, and just to show up, and it was. Now I'm gonna get emotional, because a lot of times we don't think we do the right things in this world, but you'll hear somebody tell you, and for her mother to say you had my daughter, I want you to speak at her her funeral, and just to know that all I could do is show up. I do like doing what I'm doing right now. I'm kind of like nervous with it because I had a stroke, so I'll stutter. So, but if I start to focus on that, and I will shut down, and trust me, it will probably take me to a place where I might be using it again. So I'm just grateful that I got some acceptance with some of the things that I have to, deal with, because I'm stuttering down a little bit. But I came a long way, and I got to think about, coming through having a stroke and couldn't read and couldn't write, and had to learn all that stuff over again. And it talks about the gratitude, So what I do is I show up for people that have, stroke. When people have strokes and stuff, I'll be like, I can identify with that, because people didn't understand. They didn't understand. I thought, they were like, he just making that up. But by me experiencing that, I show up for them. if I could just walk them across the street, or if I can help them, because I'm so grateful to come a long way from that, because it's a lot of people that's still paralyzed, and that for some reason God, I don't know what he did. Well, he did his will. You know what I'm saying? So what I do is I give back what was freely given to me, man. And I show up, and I practice the gratitude, and I do what I need to do, uh, just to let you know that I'm grateful that I didn't wind up stroked out where I couldn't be productive. So I just keep doing what I need to do. And I'm talking about being connected to an agency, right? That I don't have all of those degrees and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes that will make me feel less than, but I still sit at the same table. You know what I'm saying? And I still able to give my viewpoints on things. And they'll call me and they'll ask me what should I do about this. So sometimes it ain't what you got. Sometimes it's just how you use what you got, to get you to where you need to go. So, but one thing that I think about doing now, I have to get the faith and start going to, take a deep breath and go tackle all that stuff, because I think I can. You know what I'm saying? I ain't one of them girls or guys, or they got all of this pronoun shit. I don't even know who I am sometimes. But but what I can say is that I was one of those guys that I didn't never like school. I didn't like math or none of that. Like, Mary got an apple, what Mary got, and all that kind of stuff. And if she got an apple and she cut it in 4 halves, and she put the seeds over here, what does Mary got? She got an apple pie, or she got applesauce. You know what I'm saying? And I can't continue to keep, saying stuff like that. I gotta really sit down, and it's a thing they call a second step, and that's the help step. And if I know that I got people that's willing to help me, you know what I'm saying? I don't believe I'm still stuck on this part of my life, but I know I'm almost getting there, to have the courage and the integrity to do something different. So I'm going to remain here, doing what I need to do. The drugs ain't got no better. I'm getting the experience by seeing my community, man, killing themselves. And the part that's so fearful is that they know it's killing people, and they'll go right and get it, because I guess, I don't know, disease is say, well, it ain't gonna happen to me. But after a while, that's like having a gun and you keep shooting it, right? And you got one bullet in there, and you just keep shooting it, right? Until one day, it is a bullet in there. You keep doing that shit, it's gonna get you, So I don't know. Is there anything you want to?
What was the 12-step process like for you?
Oh, well, let me break it down to you. Getting into the process of those 12 steps, it was just an understanding of that. That's the way to get through. In order to get through a first step, right? And I'm gonna break them down to you. I had to stop using. Number one, I had to get some honesty with the program that I can't do it no more. I can't do a little bit. I can't sneak around. I can't drink a cherry out of a mixed drink or none of that. And that's the surrender part of it. I accept that I'm an addict, and I know I can't change that. The second step, okay, open-mindedness. Altice, you've been doing this so long, and you do it the way you want to do it, and then you gotta get some, you gotta ask for people how you get through that, or even with the second step, like, can you help me? You know what I'm saying? Third step, the wilderness. The God of my understanding. Yes, I know he got me and making these decisions now. You know, the decisions to remain off it, the a decision that I make is to continue to do what I need to do from the first and the second step. You know what I mean? And just keep on doing what you need to do and know that the God of your understanding got you. And then he talks about the fourth step, taking an inventory. Taking an inventory, that's just writing. Just writing. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of stuff that comes out of that. It's pain and, why, abuse and, it's a lot of things that come out of that, that you got to sit down and you got to put it down and look at it and know that that ain't all your fault. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, because it was abuse, you know, resentments. I resented my uncle. I resented him why he did what he did to me. I wouldn't be gay. I wouldn't have the virus. And then practicing forgiveness and still having integrity and hold my head up high and basically the fifth step. Same thing from the fourth step. I just started talking about it. Going to somebody I could trust, like a sponsor or even it could be somebody on the street that you can talk to. Sometimes it might be good to just talk to somebody on a bus you don't know just to get it out. And then they talks about a sixth step. These defects. Oh God, those are the things that protect me. The little boy that was molested by his uncle, and that's where defensiveness came in, and why I'm so defensive and all that kind of stuff, and promiscuous came out, and that's a defect of mine. That's glaring. You know what I'm saying? You know, they say I'm I'm promiscuous. Promiscuous. I ain't promiscuous. Yes, you are a dressed up whore. You was a little whore. You know what I'm saying? But it's all right because I had to make the connection that a lot of those behaviors came from the abuse. And I just continue to do what I need to do, and the seventh step, okay, I'm doing good at this point, but guess what? Sometimes we'll God will let us take our will back, and you'll be able to, you'll make a mistake. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I did this again. Oh my God, I did again. I did it again. Guess what? All right, God, please help me. And then it talks about, the eighth step, all the harm that I caused. I had a girlfriend, I've been through a lot with that, and, let me see, she was on the list, but one thing, you got to put yourself on the list. I had to put my family on the list. Why I did that to my grandmother. She had legs cut off. She let her legs cut off, and she still loved my ass. And she, even though my aunt and them told them to throw me out, it was my grandmother said, well, you get out. You know what I'm saying? There's something about that. And those, I still cause harm to them. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I had to do was I had to just stop doing the behaviors and just show up. Like, I ain't got to say, oh, I'm sorry and all of that. That's the eighth step. Just making that list. And the ninth, 10th, and all of those, they kind of connect, and then they'll take me to the 11th step when, oh God, I need to meditate, man. Just be quiet, and just, and then they talks about it in the 10th step, taking an inventory every day, because you got to take an inventory of yourself every day, so you can monitor defects of character and all of that kind of stuff, or even with an inventory of how you did today. Was you nice to somebody that day, or did you get better than you was before? Because at one time with the defects, I was defensive and I caused harm. Like when I'm going through a situation with my landlord, instead of just praying for her and just do what I need to do, like I want to grab into the defects, and I want to be spicy. I want to read her, and say some harmful shit. Like her brother died, I'm gonna tell her to dig him up and shit, and ask him, or tell him to come fix this stuff that he didn't fix when he was here. But then I ain't say nothing. Woosah, because sometimes you'll say stuff that you can't take back. You know what I'm saying? And what happens is, even though you said it, you cause harm to them, you still causing harm to yourself, because that's not who you are no more. You know what I mean? So, and getting to the 12th step with all the steps, that's that dear one I love, is just giving it back, just giving it back, and that's where this comes in when I talks about working where I do in the community and all of that. So that's basically, I don't know if I sound right, but that's my experience with it. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that I'm grateful for is that experiences change. The program works if you want to work it. And we have the ability to do what's right, and so we don't have to if we don't want to. But what happens is a consequence. You know what I'm saying? I have an opportunity to surrender. Like surrender, your surrender is your surrender. But after a while, when you are thoroughly beaten, whatever it is, and it ain't gotta be using drugs, whatever you're doing, when you are thoroughly beaten, you will change. You will change. You be like, I'm tired of this bitch. So that's my take on that. And I appreciate y'all taking the time to listen to me. And I hope I got through, the fear, because that's one thing that we can't have. But fear is normal. But the fear of, not focusing on, did I sound right or whatever. It is what it is. As long as I put honesty with it and the willingness to do it, and just to be open to, suggestions, or, maybe I said something that wasn't right, and I have the open mind to just like, maybe you're right. So if nobody said they love you, that's one thing that I need to talk about before I stop, is the spiritual principle of love. At a time like this, with the holidays, losing all my family and all of that, and losing so many loved ones, and I try to practice that spiritual principle of love, because you cannot be mad at people, man, and for petty shit, you know what I'm saying? And you let them know that you love them when you really love them, because I'm telling you, that is a hurtful feeling, man, to work on those, grab one of them defects and cause harm to somebody that you really love, or you're not speaking to them, and then all of a sudden they're not here. So what I do is I practice the spiritual principle of love, man, because you never know, man. You never know when God is coming, and you be caught up in all of that stuff, and wasn't had the opportunity to let them know that messes you up, So that's one thing that I want you to do, is spiritual principle of love. Practice it to the best of your ability. It ain't always gonna be good, and sometimes you gotta be the bigger person. But to cherish that love, you gotta practice something different, man. Even if you right and they wrong, but we human, and God will allow you to get the experiences, man. One thing about this world is full of experiences, and we all gonna have to go through some, no matter what it is. It's good, bad, indifference, sad, happy, disgusted, whatever that feeling might be for that day. You could get through it, and that's it.
What are three? You mentioned love as one of the spiritual principles. What are three other spiritual principles that you find indispensable in the program?
Integrity. Integrity is like one of my favorite ones. Um, love, well, love is one of them. That's I'm so focused on that one. You know, the honesty, you won't get nothing if you can't do honesty. You ain't gonna be able to. None of that shit gonna wake up. None of those spiritual principles mean shit if you don't have honesty with it. You know, and what's another good one? I said integrity, love, honesty, commitment. Commitment is good. It's so many though. It's a host of them. You know, and one thing that being in the process, I remember at one time we used to always just think that we was the bad people, and then you get people that tell you some good stuff. You know, those assets. You know, getting some assets like those turn into assets that hate turns into love, and you know. Greed turns into giving, you know, stuff like that. So that's what I love about this process. It's always some good that comes out of it, even when you think it's bad, you know. So, yeah.
Earlier, you talked about commitments and having commitments in the program. What are some of the commitments that you've had in the program, and how have they helped you keep coming?
Oh, well, let's talk about the first one. I had all the commitments, you know, because we got something called the coffee maker, which is the best one because it's easy. You don't have to deal with behave, you know, people personalities. No, you still got to do with personalities, but you could be like, look, go ahead. You know what I mean? But they have a thing called the GSR that brings back the information for the group. You know what I'm saying? All the things that go down in the fellowship that I belong to. You know, treasurer. Even though I didn't never like that one because I had to learn. You know, I come from shoplifting and all that kind of stuff, and I'm a thief at nature. But when you start coming in, you start practicing. People you know, and trusting you. I was able to be a treasurer too, you know. So, but I don't like messing with nobody money, especially when I'm broke. So let's talk about that. And then, but I have experienced um, being an activities chair that hosts some of the activities that we have in our fellowship. You know, I'm doing speaker jams and you know New Year's functions and stuff like that. But that was one that I got to experience that I'm not because people I don't know people with their personalities I couldn't. That's when all my defects and stuff came. But I still was able to get with some people that walked with me and showed me the way. So, you know, I was grateful for it, but I would never do it again. You know, I will do it behind this scenes, but I'm not being no part of, you know, taking control of it. You know what I'm saying? So I like this week. I mean, well, New Year's coming up. The person asked me to help them. I will help you behind the scenes. I'll come help you clean up. I'll bring the food in, whatever. But that other stuff, no, I ain't gonna be up here a part of it. But it's all good. You know what I'm saying? We all get our experience and we find out where we fit in. And one thing that I was introduced to was the fashion show thing of it. You know, I love fashion shows. You know, I'm one of the models of, you know, the fellowship that I serve. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm one of them, you know, I get down with the, you know, and it's good because when you get clean, you know what I'm saying, you think you don't got nothing to do or it's going to be boring. And one thing about the fellowship that I'm a part of, we got it all. You know what I'm saying? You know, we got fashion shows, we got lip syncs, we got I ain't gonna say gambling. That's not one, but they play cards. You know, there's a lot of stuff that you do without the use of drugs. I remember having to just walk a fashion show. I used to have to get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, I've learned to do without the use of drugs. So I don't know.
Okay. I thank you so very much. You have been a great guest. Just one more question.
Okay, you can
Excuse me.
roll it.
In the meeting, the most important person is the newcomer. I know that you work in the field. So, what is some of the, or can you tell us about one experience that you've had that you can remember with helping, or either being or helping a newcomer?
Oh, I got many of them because I'm for the newcomer. You know what I mean? I'm the one that's going to meet you. I'm the one that's going to, you know, I know coming out of rehab, sometimes you don't have the little coins, money or whatever. You know, I'll make sure you get there because I don't drive or none of that. So the only thing I can do is, but I can direct them to somebody that I know. Because when you first come, you be nervous and you feel less than and you don't feel a part of. And I'm the type of person with my, you know how I bring it. You know what I'm saying? I'm very a people person, and before you know it, I'll have you here. You know what I mean? This is such and such. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of know who to put with who. You know what I mean? You know, so I'm just I'm for the newcomer. Like I got experience with them. You know, getting telling my story, man, so they can get some identification because I got a lot in it. I shot drugs. I shoplift. I contracted the HIV virus. You know, so what I do is I just get honest and give them enough for them to grab something because being an addict, I know you done did some stuff. So I try to give you some experiences, you know what I'm saying, to let you know that you are not alone. You know, so yeah.
Jails, institutions, and death.
Jails, institutions, and death. And now, shit, it's just death now.
Yeah.
They don't even get a chance. They don't even get a chance for jail no more. Cause soon as they do this shit, now they die. Right here in this area. It's the old jail right here.
Mm-hmm.
2 clients I know OD recently. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's no longer jails institutions. It's just death. And one thing that a lot of people get mad at, I be like, live or die. They be like, what? I said live or die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you on your way. You know what I'm saying? I remember my sponsor. I remember when I relapsed and everything, and I was like, I thought that was the worst thing he said. He said, "Bitch, live or die." That's how he talked. Live or die. I got a black suit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, how dare how you say that? But then after a while, and then I looked around and a lot of people was dying, and I was like, you know what? He's right. So I couldn't be mad. So they get mad when I say, go ahead, die. They be like, yeah, die. I'll be there for you. Because you could be for somebody when they die, right at the funeral, bring them some flowers or something.
Right.
You know, so. But I still pray that they make it through. Because it ain't easy. It is not easy. You know. And it's a lot that I could talk about with my own self. When now the drugs is gone, and you gotta maintain some integrity still. You still gotta. They talks about the void. You know, the void must be filled. To fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it. Mm-hmm. Whatever it is, masturbation, overeating, you know, stealing, shopping, you know. It ain't just because the drugs is going now. The disease done turned into something else. And the compulsive obsession to fix the feeling. That shit will bust your ass. And it'll have you looking like you using. Mm-hmm. And you ain't touch no drugs. So, you know, it's just enough to just leave it alone. It's enough for me.
Yeah.
But my thinking will stop me sometimes. Oh shit. Mm-hmm. Case scenario, and then I'm gonna shut up. I was minding my business. I don't think about using. Walking down South Orange Avenue, walk past somebody, and they was smoking a wooler. And I was like, just the first thing I was like, damn. And in that minute, my mind went to, damn, I should ask him to go get me a bottle and do it and hook it up for me. But you know what I did? I just played the whole tape, and I redirected my thinking. You know what I did? I said, "Get away from me! Get away from me!" You know what I'm saying? And I was able to go to a meeting and raise my hand on the burning desire and say, "I smelled a wooler today." You know?
Yeah.
Or I was in Dunkin' Donuts and this girl, she dropped all her sticks on the counter, and it was yellow, and the color for the day was yellow that day. I seen yellow everything, and my disease said, I can go back. I can give come here, girl. Give me one, and throw the money. Oh, you know that's how we do. And I said, I'm not going through all of that. I said, let me go. Top of the disease. Margaritas. Up the street from where I work. I gotta check my behaviors. I go in there to order my pork, bacon, egg, and cheese. So I should be ordering in front of the lady. Why am I gonna go over there where the boys hustling to sit in front of me and be like, give me a egg, and be like, knowing that that's the lifestyle. Just sitting in it. I don't get hard, but I'm sitting around this. But what happens is once you practice some stuff, they say, what is you over here for? You know what I mean? So I'm just talking about the disease. It's kind of in bad form.
Last word. If you were to see, what would you tell somebody coming into the program today?
I would tell her what we always tell them, right? Make a meeting, use the phone, stay away from people, places, and things. Well, once they get there, they can get a commitment, get a sponsor, and use them. You know what I'm saying? All of those.
That's what's up.
Yeah, it's a couple more too.
Yeah, get a home group.
Get a home group.
Practice some steps.
And one thing about my home group, when I did relapse, right, and I got fired. It's a job I'm at now. And when I went and got cleaned again, I ain't had a job, but I held my head up. I had some integrity. I went to my meeting. I went to my home group. They start seeing something different. They're like, okay. Come here, Altice. Would you mind coming back? You know, I'm trying to get cute with it. Huh? Yes. Yes. You know what I'm saying? You know, practicing what I preach. You know what I'm saying? That was my home group band, and I had to. That's something that I was dedicated to going. Even though I know they was like, that's that bitch that got high in here. I went to the cookout and got high and shit, and made an imbecile of myself. But I went to my home group every Friday morning, and they seen something different. They said, how you doing? They said, look at your eyes. Oh shit. They see, you know, oh, you doing the coffee? Okay. Oh. Then they remember, oh, Altice is good with the clients, with getting those clients that we need for this, for our numbers. Let's give them a shot again. And I've been there back there ever since. So that's all. And that was me having my home group there. You know, so.
Dude, I thank you so very much for coming and sharing your story. I will. So thank you once again, Altice from Newark.
Brick City Recovery Stories. Listen for your story.